Good morning. We are starting now the morning prayer in conjunction with the headquarters of the World Messianic Church of Africa on the 26th of September of 2020. Amatsunoritu, the Messianic Prayer, the Lord's Prayer.
Kahamaharani kanzumarimasu kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite sumemi oya kamuizanagi no mikoto tsukushi no himuka no tatiana no odono ahagi arani misogi araitamo toki ni narimaseru araido no kamitati moro moro no magagoto tsumi kegari o arai tamae kiyome tamae tomaoso koto no yoshio amatsukami kunitsukami yaoyorozo no kamitati tomoni ameno futi komano mimi furita tete kikoshime seto kashiko mimo maosu miro kuo mikami mamurita mae sakia etamae miro kuo mikami mamurita mae sakia etamae Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamurita mae sakia etamae Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamurita mae sakia etamae Kannagara tamatia emase Kannagara tamatia emase O Supreme God, Creator and Giver of all life, O Supreme God, Creator and Giver of all life, by Thy divine will, the long age of night has come to an end. Thou art releasing Thy direct light to live the glorious new age for which mankind has long been yearning. We thank Thee for guiding us to Thy Divine Light program. We thank Thee for the privilege of receiving and channeling Thy light. May our spirits and bodies be illumined and cleansed. May we live the precepts Thou hast given us through Mesh Sama. Make us pure channels of Thy divine light, blessing those with whom we have come in contact. May Thy plan for the new era of light be fulfilled, and peace, health, and plenty become a reality. Great God of light, bless us and protect us and give expansive radiance to our souls. Our Father who art in heaven, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be Thy name, Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Let us receive Jore. End of Jore. Teaching of Meishu Sama. On love. Generally speaking, there are two kinds of love: the universal, all inclusive love of God, and the individualized love of man, which is limited. Shoujo love, as a rule, is more personalized and, when extreme, may limit itself to love of self, family, friends, one's own group or class, and one's country. While good in itself, it is somewhat limited, and so may assume selfish ends and turn into a self-centered love. The more intense it is, the more it can become a source of injustice and conflict, and in its worst political aspects, lead to war. Daijo love is broader and more encompassing, and in this respect more nearly resembles universal love, which includes all mankind. In its highest and finest sense, it may be trusted more fully than a circumscribed shoujo love. The perfect balance of universal love should prevail and become the common ideal of people everywhere. We hear of strife between religious sects and of wars in the name of religion. Our ideal is a religion that works hand in hand with other religions to create a world of love and peace, not only advocating but exemplifying universal love. Testimony of Faith. Testimony of Faith of Domingas Augusto, World Messianic Church of Angola. My name is Domingas Augusto. I am a missionary and I serve as a public health assistant. The testimony of faith that I would like to share is related to the fulfillment of the guidance during the period of confinement. During the state of confinement, I was concerned about my situation as a nurse and how I should continue my dedications. So, I started thanking the Supreme God and Messiah Meshusama with a special donation for the general purification that we are going through. Then, I made a list with the names of my closest neighbors who are going through difficulties and started to pray on behalf of everyone, a total of 10 people. I also started to channel Jure while reading the teachings of Meshusama in the family and in the neighborhood. Thus, I was able to bring 3 neighbors to attend the church. One of my neighbors is single and takes care of her children and grandchildren alone. Unemployed, she depended on the help of her son and some neighbors. She had dislocated an arm and had a dry cough. Due to financial difficulties, she was not able to go for medical consultation, but as soon as she started receiving Jure, 2 months later, the pain in her arm passed. The only son who helped her financially was detained along with other colleagues and spent days in prison. When the mother heard about it, she panicked because she had no one to pay the bail. She came to tell me the situation, and at the time, I channeled Jure and we took the opportunity to make a home garden in her backyard. Then I asked her to go to church and thank for the purification with a donation, and she did so. 2 days later, she received the news that her son had been released with all his colleagues 14 days after being arrested without having to pay anything. After 45 days, she received a job offer. She has already done the interview and is waiting for the call. My brother has suffered from mental disorder for over 10 years. He lives alone as he was abandoned by his wife and children. He only receives visits from his brothers and nephews. As an older sister, I was not concerned because this disease is hereditary in my family, so I materialized a special donation for the salvation of my family lines, and as a result, he is calmer and already takes care of himself. Thanks to God and the Messiah Meshusama, he now receives visits from his children who haven't been looking for him for over 10 years. One of my children who had drinking problems and could not sleep, thank God, reduced alcohol consumption, found a partner, and is concerned with organizing his life. With this testimony of faith, I learned that only with dedication and gratitude to the Supreme God and the Messiah Meshusama we achieve happiness. Thank you. Greetings from the Vice President of the World Messianic Church of South Africa, Minister Paulo de Paula e Souza.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Fine? Thank God and Messiah Meshusama. In the name of our President, Reverend Cláudio Cristiano Leal Pinheiro, I would like to thank you all for the restless efforts that you have been doing in expanding the light and the gospel of Meshusama, not only in South Africa, but throughout the whole Africa and the whole world. It's been a pleasure during this pandemic time to read all the testimonies of faith that we have been in touch with. We've just heard the testimony of Domingas Augusto, wonderful testimony of faith, whereby her worry during the pandemic was not the pandemic itself, but how could she still serve God? How could she fulfill her mission? How would she keep on helping others spiritually? And she started to pray for other people. She did first, she materialized her donation of gratitude, and then she started to pray for other people. Like our president always says, where there is a will, there's a way. You either are worried about how you can still please God, or you are worried with how you can please yourself. There's no way that you can have both. Just like this testimony that we just heard, 10 years that the children were not looking for her parent, for their father. But after receiving Jorei, after praying, doing the donation, 10 years of suffering just finished, vanished, with a little Jorei. So many testimonies like this. We just had the morning prayer here in Mozambique. We also had a wonderful testimony of faith from Mrs. Elsa Namaqueli. She also was worried how she could serve during this COVID time. What she did, she started to invite people to watch through our social media the service. And one lady had a problem with her son, and by watching the service, she managed to overcome the conflict that she had with her son, and now they pray together every single day. There's now harmony within the family. There's also a poem that says, what is in a name? Even a rose called by any other name would smell as sweet. It shows that now that we are not able to do our dedication the way that we are doing before, this is not the more important thing. The more important is to serve God. Find new ways. Pray for people from your house. Put their names in a list and pray for them. Call them. Ask if they are feeling fine, if you can pray for them. Invite them to watch our services live. The guidance that we are receiving every day. We have this wonderful permission to receive guidance from our president every day. This is something that we didn't have the permission before the pandemic. So let's look at life with a grateful eye, from a grateful perspective. And let's try to live our life happily by serving God and the Messiah, Meshu Sama. Tomorrow, we have our monthly service of gratitude that's going to be performed at our headquarters in Pretoria. It's going to be performed by our president, Reverend Claudio Cristiano Leal Pinheiro. If you cannot come to Pretoria, watch it live. We have this permission. Don't think, it's not the same, or watch live. If it's the same or not, I don't know, but it's a way to serve God. And I tell you, it's as important as being in person in the church. So tomorrow, we'll be together again at our monthly service of gratitude. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful Saturday. And with the permission of God and Messiah Meshu Sama and his blessings, we're going to be together again tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.
Hereby, we end the prayer in conjunction with the headquarters of the World Messianic Church on the 26th of September of 2020.